What's up, everyone? It's another episode of Street Topics, and today I'm going to talk about the recent GQ episode with Colin Kaepernick. Y'all don't want to miss this. Street Topic.
1, 2, 3, hit it! Watch me! Watch me! I got it! Watch me! I got it! Hey! I got soul, and I'm super bad. I got soul, and I'm super bad.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the episode of Street Topics. We're going to be hitting on the recent GQ cover magazine with Colin Kaepernick. And, I'm just going to dive right into it. Right now, I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to you. Much respect and appreciation for standing for what you believe in. I know there's a lot of huge amount of criticism for what you did, especially in the NFL atmosphere, just to pretty much spread the awareness and much more. But you have been rewarded with the GQ magazine Citizen of the Year. Now let's go ahead and break this whole thing down. This thing hope already started. It dates back way back a couple of years ago when there was a lot of police shootings of families losing their loved ones to police shootings. We felt like the media and the justice wasn't being served. You had these cops who were taking away family loved ones, and they weren't really getting the justice that we thought that they deserved. They just pretty much got a little slap on the back, went out into the free world, and while if something else happened, for example, if you flip the script and it was someone else, they would get a lot of years behind them bars, and it frustrated us as the African American community and much more, which leads to this protest. So, to go more in depth about it, the reason why he took a knee was not because of just the race thing. I feel like a lot of people get that confused. He took a knee saying, I'll continue to take a knee until there is equal justice for all people. And what he meant was there was too many black families losing their loved ones to officers on duty, and they pretty much getting a slap on the wrist. They wasn't really getting a just serve, and the media and everybody else told them to pretty much shake it off like it was a regular day routine and just live with it. And that infuriated a lot of different people and much more. So the main thing about this is he took a stand saying until these cops are punished the rightful way that they deserve for taking someone else's loved ones, then he'll make a stand again. Because originally that was the message of it. Now, with social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it is very easy for your message to get confused and then just twisted in so many other different ways, and then the original meaning for your message gets confused with something else, and then someone can take their own perspective, throw that on there, and much more. Now, with that said, I personally have family members in the military. I respect for what they do. They put their lives on the line for our freedoms and to protect our rights. So, there's nothing bigger than the sacrifice of life and for the protection of the country and much more. So much respect for that. So, after hearing many different views, now I'm going to pretty much state what is the clash. And what I think is a clash of two different perspectives. You have the African American community was pretty much saying this needs to be brought to a better awareness. We used the NFL platform, which created a huge buzz. I mean, you can say whatever you want. It did create a huge buzz. A lot of people do, acknowledge it now, and it's getting a lot more attention, and it's not really just hitting. A lot of people know about it. And another thing was First Amendment freedom of speech. You should be able to protest no matter what arena, location, and much more. And these and much more, and that's pretty much on that side. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier about the clash of the opinions. Mostly you can say right or Republicans believe that as an employee you should not be able to protest as an employee because it may hurt the brand of the business franchise. Well, when I talk about this, I'm talking about, of course, the NFL. So they believe that the players can protest, but not on the NFL field and not on that platform. So that's another thing that made a lot of people mad. Another view that's been getting out there is that a lot of African Americans are real quick to play the race card. You know, if it's just someone that's black and they do it, it's all like an automatic around, support, no matter what your opposing view can be in. That's something else they get aggravated on. Another part is they feel like a lot of people that just, vote or have this view are not really fully educated on what's really going on and just pretty much follow the trend of things and much more. Then you have more on the right side. It's like, this is a strong argument that I heard. It's now today with so many different programs in place, with business loans and things like that, grants and opportunities for like minorities and much more, that they believe that there's a way more opportunity out there for the African Americans so they can prosper and grow and much more and grow, and they don't understand with all these different resources, programs, grants, so why they're still complaining. And that's more the Republican side. Going back to I don't even like to say just Democratic because it's just different opinions, but more on I guess you can say African American side is I hate to say, I know people will say something else, the white privilege thing. So when it comes to white privilege, me personally, I can understand it from like, because you can have the best education, skill set, and much more, but I strongly believe subconsciously, like if your employer may still have that mentality to think, okay, you're just an African American, you shouldn't be in these kind of positions. Am I saying all these people like this? No, definitely not saying that. But it's just something that is still out there. And just to sugarcoat it and act like it doesn't exist, I mean, it's just crazy because I'll be foolish to say that there's not, some white people out there that really hold on to those kind of views of thinking like an African American just work these kind of positions at the same time. And there's so many different stereotypes out there. It's easy to get just confused and clashed in with all these different things like that. So you have that. And I mean, if I really want to think about it, I think it's a battle between perspective, moral values of what is right and wrong, what they believe should be done, and you have all these different views just clashing together, fighting for what is truly to be right for that situation. And that is why we have so many just heated battles when it comes to this topic in politics, because the Democrats thinks this should be the way things should be done, the Republicans thinks this is the way that should be done, and then the liberals thinks this is the way that things should be done. And then we pretty much pull back from our history, and history is important because it is, the foundation of how we got to this point today. But, and one of the arguments was like, why haven't a lot of African Americans moved on and move forward? But at the same time, that is history. We did come from that and progress forward. But you still have some people that feel like they shouldn't, and that also leads into the issues of the statues. Some believe like some of the statues should be removed, like Sam Houston and much more, because he was a slave owner. And you have the other debate that's saying like these statues shouldn't be removed because it resembles history. So there's just a whole bunch of different clashes of perspectives. And this is why politics is so much of a headache, because everyone is trying to prove their view of what is truly right. At the end of the day, I want people to be able to agree to disagree and just move on and, move on with their daily lives. Do I agree with everything the Republicans say? No. Do I have a lot more views that I agree with African Americans? Honestly, yes. But I am open to understand different kind of points of views. I'm not going to just attack you and just retaliate without trying to listen to for understanding, because then that makes me closed-minded. But I'm just coming from my own perspective, because just speaking out for the African American self, Just speaking of us, we have came through a lot. You gotta understand. This is me talking. Um, Going to what used to be as just property to becoming educated, fighting for rights, to finally be able to work and then finally be able to be put together with the workforce no matter what color you are, and then to take that and moving forward into like the 2000s, and not to mention like a lot of these ideas we weren't able to patent them. Not only that, generational wealth, we had no idea of all these things it kind of existed, so we're playing catch up to get caught up with everybody else. Have we have a lot of African Americans that have succeeded well expectation? Yes, of course, but as a whole, we are still trying to catch up because we've been put in the past as this property and now trying to play catch up and move forward. Then you have the mentality issue, you know, trying to educate us to make smarter decisions, especially when it comes to money management, and use to take advantage of these resources so that we can move ahead and prosper in life and then the future generations to come. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of different things out there. It's just super crazy. So that was a little bit extra put on there, but overall this video is for the, recent magazine with Colin Kaepernick, who went through a huge amount of adversity for his stance and what he believed was his injustice. So, with that said, please leave your comments, debate. You can debate against me, your friends, family. Just make sure it's clean and respect the person at the end of the day, because we all have to be here and live with each other. It's okay to agree to disagree. It's all part of the debate and discussion as we learn and move forward. So, with that said, it's another episode of Street Topics, and peace.
The way I put